All right, very good. Well, in round 6, the buys are the Blues and the Force. And round 2 of the Aussie Derbies begin with the Rebels and the Brumbies. Who wants to rip into this?
Yeah, look, I'll jump on this one. The last game went to the Brumbies 31-23, but it was 24-23 with 10 minutes left. Look, we can all share these, I think, actually, if you like. There's no home advantage for this one for the Rebels, with a game being played at Leichhardt Oval in Sydney. Rebels unable to offer anything recently in attack. I can't see how they're going to really break this Brumbies defence.
No.
Trace, a man you love?
Say again?
A man you love? Pony.
Yes, thank you. Can we get him back in? He came off the bench. Look, Ainsley did well in the set piece, but just get the Pony back in there. They need
I think Pony got a small injury the week before, so I reckon it was probably he just had a light week training or something. I'm sure we'll see him start. He's been immense.
Indeed. Nazarani was a guy we mentioned. He was getting back with questionable fitness. I think he had kind of a bit of a sleepy start back into the game. By that I mean he just wasn't back to his usual self. Slowly started getting more and more involved, and obviously he scored the match winner in super time. But hopefully he builds on that this week and can be as good as we know he can be. I think at the start of the year, Harry, you might have picked him as the top back rower based off last year. So
yeah, I thought he was going to be huge. So I mean, he was very good last week. So hopefully we just keep putting those performances back to back.
That's it. And look, one of my fantasy pickups last week that I thought could have just been one of those random ones where he might just score 3 tries against the Force was Tom Pincus. He did not.
You're the only one that thought that.
I know. It was one of those coin tosses. No, he did not. In fact, he got a whopping 1 fantasy point for me.
Mate,
sorry, go ahead.
It's not like he's a 7-star. He played for Queensland country, and he's just, I mean, you picked him out of nowhere.
True. I was going to say, speaking of 7 stars, look, he was a 7s player, but certainly not a star. What about all these stars? Are they just there for a bloody training camp? Talking about Gerald Skelton, Louis Holland, Boyd Killingsworth. They have these absolute guns in their team. Where are they?
See Holland play. Like, surely they can put Louis Holland to 15, Reece Hodge back to 13, and then get rid of Pink Eye and put Kellaway back on the wing. Like, seriously.
Mate, put Skelton on as a flanker. I don't get them on there, mate.
Put Skelton on the bench. The guy's a weapon.
It's ridiculous. But anyway. Well, talking about Kellaway, I mean, what do we think of Kellaway at 13? I thought that was a pretty epic fail.
-8 points. That's what I think.
I think he had the lowest score of the round, in fact.
He did.
Or the highest negative score, if you will. If you're thinking in Nelson-isms, the highest negative score.
Yeah, no, he was rubbish. I don't know. I assume Campbell Magnay must be carrying an injury. I'm not sure why he didn't start.
I think he is.
That's the only logical reason to me, but I haven't read anything.
Because we really liked him when he played. He looked really good. Can we
just swap him? Can we just swap Kellaway and Hodge? Surely, Kellaway's a better 15 and Hodge is a better outside. I just don't understand what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, it's weird.
Coaching team and selections in some of these competitions, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Kellaway only played, 2 whole seasons at fullback for the Saints over in the Northern Hemisphere in the Premiership Rugby, and before that a little bit for the Tars and Rebels as well. So ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the only maybe the thought was with Hodge at fullback, he's just got a massive boot on him. But it's not like it was something that they had a go-to plan that they seemed to use a lot either. So it doesn't really add up.
Yeah. But for me, the Brumbies can score long range tries that they showed a few weeks ago. They can also score rolling maul tries that they showed last week. I don't really think that the Rebels have anywhere near the same amount of firepower. The Rebels' defence is solid enough, but how the hell do they hold out the Brumbies in this game? To me, it's a 1-horse race. What do you guys think, or how do you see the Rebels trying to attack them?
I think, look, the only thing I'll say is that in the first game when the Rebels took on the Brumbies, we were amazed by how the Rebels forward pack just got up for it. They were actually the dominant of the two sides in the forwards with the scrums, just the carries. That was about mainly ponies carries. But it was really surprising. So I don't expect that to happen again. It looks like the Brumbies have settled in and back to where we thought they would be. But I mean, the Rebels should know that they're capable of that. But I don't know. For me, it's if the Rebels forwards can get some work done, they've got a chance. But as he said, there's no match in the backs.
Yeah.
It's going to be about discipline as well. They should got to learn from the Reds. You can't give away those penalties. You cannot do it.
Look, I think the Brumbies, although they're so good at the set piece in terms of the driving more at the very least, there's definitely holes there. The Rebels do offer some things from time to time and do have the ability with their backs if their forwards set a good platform. So if they come out and have an absolute blinder and the Brumbies played like they did last week and the Rebels don't feed them with penalties, then I mean they've got a shot here. The Brumbies don't look untouchable against Aussie teams like they have in the past. They just know how to close the game out. But yeah, look, I see this going the way of the Brumbies.
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure. Changes quickly as well. Matt Phillip obviously should start. They gave Hutangana a start last week, so surely he subs back in now that they're not just playing against the Force. And Ryan Lowrens, who, if he is injured, James Tuttle could get his first run, right? Like that'd be pretty cool to see.
Off the bench, Frank Lamarty be starting for sure.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to see Tuttle get a run. Like obviously a second chance for him.
Yeah, Tuttle's a really good player, so that'd be good to see.
Have we one injury? Bailey Kunzel. How bad was his injury in the?
I don't think he was injured, was he? They just took him off at the back end. I think the plan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
I think the plan was to bring Mac Hansen on. Mac Hansen's a 10/15.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were just giving him the chance to close out that game, and he did so brilliantly. So.
I think maybe I was just predicting the future because if you guys remember Matt Tamua, the hitman on the weekend, God, he was going around lighting people up and I was loving it. So
it's good to see from a 10.
It's lucky Bailey Kunzel's a big bloke because he'll definitely be wary of that this weekend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of big blokes, Solomone Carter has been struggling to get involved in the game. Actually, it's a little bit less exciting than I thought. I just get excited by his name. But
he had a few runs last week, but he just doesn't go looking for the ball enough. It's really frustrating. A big man like that. In the first half of the season before the break, he was running all those Tavita Kurandrani lines off the lineouts and things. He's not doing that anymore.
No, I don't know. Maybe it's something about working his way back into the team. He hasn't been there long. He came in with a massive buzz, and then, I mean, everything that's happened this year, maybe it's just taken the wind out of his sail a little bit. A few more games under his belt is just all he needs.
Very good. All right, to round this one out, I think we've said weeks to go as expected. So Brumbies to win this one comfortably. Let's put some points on it. Nels, what do you reckon?
I'm going to say 15.
15,
10.
Harry?
10 points.
I feel 15 is a lot, but I'm going to say it.
I'm going to go with 12. I'm just going to do the middle just for the, whatever. Just to,
12.5?
Can I go 12.5? Is that allowed?
You can, but you'd be wrong.
12.5 sounds good. All right. All right. The Tars and the Reds.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's returning for this one. The last time this happened was in round 1, and the Reds won this one by 6 points, but they kicked 2 penalties in the last 4 minutes of the game to close this one out. So it was a very tight match. In that encounter, the Reds absolutely dominated the possession and territory, yet the Tars looked very dangerous with ball in hand, something that they've shown glimpses of, but they're not doing week in, week out. They had 11 line breaks and 9 offloads, and it was over double the line breaks when they had very little ball at all. The line out was also a massive strength for the Tars, and if I were the Tars, it'd be something I'd be looking to use again, especially now that they've got a few people that can kick with Ram, things like that. The only issue for them is there's going to be a little bit of sting taken out of that line out with Rob Simmons not going to be playing with his fractured rib.
But the overall, how much better the team will be overall with Rob Simmons gone, though, will make up for that. So, yeah.
But he's been one of the Tars' best players this season.
I won't have it. I won't concede to it. I won't allow it. No.
I think Tom Staniforth's the man that's probably going to come in for him the most likely. There's a few different options, but you'd think that seems most likely. But look, the line out here for the Reds is a massive issue. They are the worst in Super Rugby AU. They lose 4.25 lineouts a match when the Tars have been extremely dominant come lineout time. They've only lost 5 over the 4 matches. So if I were the Tars, yes, Simmons or no Simmons, he's a massive part of it. The Reds lineout has really struggled. They have a lot of kickers. I would be playing the ball out of my own half and trying to utilise that line out as much as I can. Don't keep that ball in play because they have some guys that can run the ball back and are quite dangerous. But speaking on that, the injury to, Jock Campbell. So I think if Jock Campbell's not there and they chuck Bryce Hegarty at 15, yes, Bryce Hegarty's a good player, but he doesn't offer the same amount of line break ability as you see from Campbell. So, look, it's going to be an interesting one for me. Jordi Patea, he's probably going to be starting on that wing. If he's starting, surely as the Tars, you're going to have Newsom sitting there on the wing rather than the Wanganitawasi, who does not have the same defensive ability. Yet we'd all like to see him.
Yeah, very good.
See this one going. Do you think Jake Gordon's going to do enough? Do you think Walton's going to be inspiring in his defence because he's not doing anything else in attack?
Well, good thing that the Waratahs have an absolutely tried, tested and proven rolling maul to just really work off the back of those lineouts. Oh, wait, they don't. Sorry, my bad. Is it just me that's jaded that maybe from the last Waratahs game, but I feel like, yes, they did show some signs of attack in the first game against the Reds, but is it just me or have they gotten worse throughout the season, the Waratahs, as the season's gone on?
I think they have. I think it's probably a little bit fatiguing. They came out very gung-ho, had a couple of demoralising losses, and then from there they're kind of losing their way a little bit. I think, like Nelson said, Jake Gordon, he'll be hopefully someone to provide a little bit of spark for them, should get his first start. I thought he looked quite good off the bench, had a fair bit of energy, so excited to see him get a run this week. And the two names that I'll be Googling through the week for the casualty ward, it's going to be Angus Bell. Hopefully his back gets better and he can have a run because obviously I think he is a huge, huge player for them. Big in the scrum and gives them a lot of go-forward ball when their loose forwards aren't doing that for them. And God knows their second row is not going to get them going forwards with Flanagan and Tom Staniforth. So him and Lalakai Fekete, we talked about Walton, but if we can just sack Walton and put Fekete straight in, I'd probably give that a try as well.
Who's the other Tars back row / lock, the big young Pacific Islander boy?
Tafa?
Tafa. Let's get Tafa amongst it.
I agree. I think they've been playing him more at lock. And to be fair, I'd start him at lock. I think, look, on the back row, do we expect, obviously, I can't see Swinto or Hooper. It's going to be Swinton, Hooper, and Dempsey still. Harris on the bench.
You assume so.
Yeah.
You assume so, but on Pat Tafa, they just can't play the entire under-20s team. They do need, or maybe he's under-21s now. They do need some experienced heads where they can get them.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree. They definitely need experience, but they're not really, replacing him with huge amounts of experience in Tom Staniforth. He's been there and he's played little bits of games and stuff. He's just not that exciting in any way, shape or form.
Jed Holloway is another option that could probably cover and give them a little bit more go forward. Obviously not that strong on the line out either.
Not that strong in the line out, not that strong in the scrum.
Yeah, I for one hope that Jack Maddox returns to his earlier season form because the last 2 games he's had haven't been particularly good, just kind of mistake-ridden. He just couldn't really get anything to work for him. So if he can get back into his first couple of rounds of Super Rugby AU, that will really help them just because he's a big part of their creating.
I think it was against the Reds off that Swinton pass that he wrapped around and scored that brilliant try line break, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, indeed, yeah.
Hopefully we see
more
a handful of those.
Yeah.
That's it. And Angus Bell, as much as I love the guy, he'll and I hope he gets back in. I'm not sure if Tom Robinson's I think Angus will still be off the bench. Just and he'll still be scarred from that first week against the Reds when Taniela Tupou took him to school, unfortunately. So, all right, how do we see it going? I see the Reds taking it out as a loyal Waratahs fan. Anyone going to disagree?
Reds are getting better. Waratahs are getting worse. Hopefully the bye week was good to the Tars, but I agree.
I'm going to say Reds by 10.
I think the only reason the Tars stayed in this one last time because of the passion of the Battle of the Border, and hopefully they come out and have that same passion again. This one being a home match, but I just can't see them winning it, so I think it'll get away from them. I'm going to say Reds by 12.
Yeah, the crowd's going to be small. They're probably at the SFS, which sucks. There's no home.
SCG.
SCG, sorry. Either. So I'm going to go by 14 or 15 because their set piece isn't going to carry them through either.
Very good.